everyone, and I review the regular Player of the Week pack. I've already reviewed the Champions League Player of the Week pack. That video's live on the channel if you want to check it out. I'll be reviewing the national team player pack thingies, whatever they're called, later today or tomorrow. So keep your eyes out for those videos as well. For this one, as always, timestamps in the description for every player. So if you want to hear about particular players, click in the description. There'll be a link to take you straight to them. Let's start with one of the low-rated ones, and it's our first booster, Marten de Roon. And that comes from Atalanta, absolutely smashing Juventus away from my amazing performance. I watched it. De Roon was very good. He deserves to be in. So let's just activate the booster straight away. What is it? Balancer, whatever the hell that means. Right, so attacking awareness, defensive awareness, acceleration, stamina. So we've had a few De Roon cards. His GP card these days is an Anchorman. He used to be a box-to-box. So we're a box-to-box this time, which is what he used to be. And previous versions of him have mostly been a box-to-box, although there was a Player of the Week orchestrated card. That orchestrated card was fairly similar to this one. The booster on this one gives it a slight edge over that one. His weaker foot accuracy is up by 1, by the way. But yeah, the trainable versions that we've had 3 trainable versions. Those are all box-to-box because that used to be its playing style. So they are comparable to this one. And again, I would say the booster on this one gives it the edge over all the trainable versions we've had of De Roon, but there's not a lot in it, to be honest. If you've got a version of De Roon already and you're happy with it, you probably don't really need this one. Compared to the GP card, what they've done, they boosted his attacking awareness, bit better on the ball, his finishing, acceleration's up a bit, physical contact and balance are up a bit. Slightly shuffled his defensives. On the whole, it's a decent boost. Unraven form. What have they done skill-wise? Looks like we've lost acrobatic finishing and sliding tackle, and we've gained long range curler and first time shot. So yeah, depending on how you want to use this guy, that might be good or bad news for you. But certainly if you want to get him forward, and he's got that box to box playing style, we've got some good skills going forward. We've got one touch passing, through passing, low lofted, and defensively interception blocker, aerial superiority, captaincy, fighting spirit. It's a pretty good selection of skills all around, to be honest. Whether you use him as a centre mid or defensive mid. He's got centre back as well. I don't think he used to have centre back. Could you use him as a centre back? Maybe. You could probably get away with him. It's a bit dubious for me. I'm not sure. I mean, obviously for a centre back, could be brilliant technically. Not the quickest though. Not got much of a jump on him. And the defences and physical contact, they're probably the most important attributes. None of them are particularly bad, but none of them particularly great either. So yeah, I wouldn't play him as a centre back. But defensive mid, reasonably strong defensively. Got some physical strength, good stamina. On the ball and passing, I think for a lot of people are okay for a defensive mid. For me, I would like a bit more on these technicals. He's got the skills to back him up technically, but yeah, I think as an out-and-out defensive mid, if he's your kind of single pivot protecting your defense, I'm not sure he's quite strong enough defensively. You could get rid of these attributes down the left in that case, but I would want more defensively, like I say. If it's some kind of double pivot, like I was saying with Declan Rice earlier with the Champions League pack, I think in a double pivot he could be handy because he's quite strong defensively and physically. And he's got a bit about him technically, even if he's not that great on the ball or with his passing. So maybe in a double pivot he could do alright for you. I think Declan Rice had exactly the same low pass, 84. So yeah, some people would say that's okay, 84 low pass. For me, it's a little bit on the low side. But he's got one touch pass and through passing. And a good selection of skills overall, to be honest. I think as a centre mid, I don't know, I think maybe as a defensive mid in some kind of double pivot or as a centre mid, as an all-rounder is probably where it's going to be best. It's not a brilliant card on the whole. Like I say, down the left, he's not brilliant technically. If you're using him for more for his defensive attributes, then I think you could allow the left column to be where it is. But for me, it's a bit on the low side. He is quite strong defensively and physically, though. And a good session of skills there. So, yeah, centre back for me, no. Defensive mid, centre mid, maybe as a kind of all-rounder, yeah, decent card. It's not an amazing one. I'd like a bit more. Excuse me. I'd like a bit more from him technically. But he's got some good skills. He's certainly got some qualities. It's pretty much par for the course for a De Roon card. But like I say, you'd have to look at the previous versions and see where the stats are slightly higher, slightly lower in terms of which one would be best for you. But it's around about the same level as previous ones, and it might have been an amazing card, but it's a fairly useful one. Maybe so the Italian League Challenge could be a useful midfield option for you. So yeah, not an amazing one, but it's a solid card. And next we have Mauro Arámbarri. I am not familiar with this guy. Uruguayan midfielder from Getafe in Spain. He has a face scan. He has gone from one extreme to the other in terms of the types of midfielder you can have in the middle of the park, because he's normally a defensive midfielder with an anchorman playing style, but they've changed it to an attacking midfielder with a whole player playing style. So a big change around. We've not had any feature versions of this guy before, and if you compare it to his GP card, obviously his GP card's an anchorman DMF. You can't. This version is not as good as the GP card as a DMF, but as an AMF, obviously you can't make the GP card as good as this. So it's it's clearly the best version I've had of this guy. And yeah, he's kind of all right. I mean, if we look at his skills, They've added a bunch of skills, so he's normally got just a dipping shot, weighted pass, gamesmanship, interception, fighting spirit. We've had a bunch of skills added here, but the big miss is we don't have through passing. So on any kind of midfielder, out of the 3 positions you've got, defensive mid, centre mid, attack mid, you need through passing, especially as an attack midfielder. So it's a big miss that we don't have that. Yes, we've got one touch pass, weighted pass, first time shot as well. Outside curls, nice one, soul control up there. We've still got a couple of defensive skills because he's normally a defensive mid, but the question is, you know, what positions is he going to be good in? There's an attacking mid without through passing. 84 low pass isn't bad, but it's not brilliant. He's all right on the ball. He's kind of all right in a bunch of areas, but where's he going to be great? Is he going to be great at creating chances for you? No, not without through passing. Is he going to be great at scoring goals? I mean, he's a whole player, but the attacking verse isn't that great. His finishing's all right. First time shot, I mean, there's nothing really particularly exciting about this guy. He's kind of an attacking midfielder with a bit of defensive ability. He just doesn't really have a lot of end product going forward. Or as a defensive midfielder, he's not that strong defensively. Centre midfield, bit of everything. But yeah, I don't know. I think again, kind of not dissimilar to De Roon really. Just kind of an all-rounder who can do a bit of everything. Not that strong defensively though, so more of a centre mid. But even as a centre mid without through passing, I don't know. He's not particularly weak in anywhere. You need some attributes to be good. You need something to stand out so you can know what he's good at. I don't want a player who's just all right at everything. And he's kind of one of these players. I'm looking around, there's no major weakness. You know, pace is all right, kicking power, physical, balance, stamina. For a centre mid, defending's all right. Everything's kind of all right for a centre mid. As an attacking mid, like I say, I think through passing is too big of a miss. I don't think he's quite got enough as an attacking mid for me in defense midfield. I don't think he's got enough defensively. But as an all-rounder, as a centre mid, probably best doing that, to be honest. But I just think even though he's got some good skills there, he's lacking one or two, and there's nothing really great about the attributes. So if you want to bang average centre mid who's kind of okay at just about everything, could be a handy card for you. Certainly if you're new to the game, you just recently got the game, you want some centre mid options, especially for the Spanish League Challenge. But without him being better at anything in particular, I don't think in any of those positions it's a particularly great card, unfortunately. Even though it's not a terrible one, there's just not really anything about it that makes me think I'd ever play him, to be honest. And next we have our goalkeeper. So we have Mathew Ryan, and there's only one thing that always stands out about this guy, and it's the fact that he's only got one T in his first name, and that really annoys me. But yeah, he's got a face scan, and he's a decent keeper, to be honest. It's the first time I've had a feature version of this guy. He's been moving around quite a bit, I think, in recent years. He's at Lens now in France, Australian keeper. Yeah, he's decent. He's not the tallest. He's about 6 foot tall. His reach at 86. Not particularly bad for reach in itself, but on a goal he's only 6 foot tall. Slight question mark over his coverage of his goal. But certainly the awareness and reflexes are great. Parrying's good. Catching a bit dodgy, but I think you can allow that. I think on the whole it's a solid keeper. I think they've added high punt and maybe even added... What else they added? According to eFootball Hub, they've added high punt and I think long throw as well. Again, I'm relying on eFootball Hub, which is not particularly reliable at the moment. But we've got a pretty complete set of skills there for a goalie, I think. I don't think we're missing anything. So yeah, on the whole, pretty decent keeper there. It's pretty solid. His distribution's not going to be amazing. Obviously, he's not got great reach. Apart from that, solid keeper. But again, French League Challenge, we don't get one. What are you going to use this guy for? So it's one of these cards where, you know, if you're quite new to the game, if you're lacking goalkeeper options, could be a handy one for you. But if you've been playing the game for quite a while, you've got decent goalies, especially for the different league challenges that we get. There might not be a great deal of use for this guy for you. So yeah, it's not a bad goalkeeper card. Slight question mark over how much coverage he's got of his goal as a slightly short goalkeeper. His reach isn't that amazing. And obviously with the lack of a French League Challenge, there might not be a great deal of use for him for a lot of people, but certainly he's not a bad goalie. And if you do like goalkeeper options, you could do a lot worse. He's a pretty solid goalie card on the whole, really. And next we have Marc Cucurella from Chelsea. So we've had one previous Player of the Week card of Cucurella. Pretty similar on the whole. The stats are kind of shuffled around a little bit here and there. That previous one had blocker, this one doesn't. So that's one advantage the previous one has, but pretty similar. And a similar story with trainables, to be honest. We've had a few trainable versions of Cucurella. And they're all around about the same overall, just kind of stats kind of shuffled around a bit here and there. So yeah, if you've got a good Cucurella, you probably don't need this one. Although with the previous trainables, I will say we've got more skills in this one. They've added a bunch of skills. They've added... long range shooting, through passing, pinpoint crossing, interception, fighting spirit. So pretty good selection of skills now. So you've got a trainable version, unless you put skills on it or you plan to. The skill wise, this one does give it does have a big advantage, and that's a good selection of skills for an attacking fullback. In terms of the attributes, lost a few points off stamina from his GP card on auto allocation, but They give him a bit of a boost on his defensive awareness, a nice boost on his defensive awareness. His technicals are up a bit as well. Apart from that, nothing really stands out. It's a solid boost he's had. It's a solid version of Cucurella. The pace is alright. I'd like a bit more speed on him. I think most people would like a little bit more speed in a fullback, but he's not slow by any means. Physical contact, not brilliant, but it certainly could be worse. Balance, likewise, that's okay. Stamina, we've lost a few points, but it's still good enough, certainly. That's 90 before your game plan boost. The defensive's all right. I like the tackling to be 80 plus when you get your game plan boost. So I'd say a few points, a few points there. I'd like the tackling to be, but on the whole, you're all right defensively. And then down the left on the technicals, you're looking all right there as well. He has been boosted a bit here, so yeah, it's not an amazing one. Doesn't stand out. I think there's one or two areas most people would like this, the attributes to be a little bit higher: the speed, physical contact, tackling, for example. But he's got good selection skills with what they've added. And on the whole, as an attacking left back, he's solid. He's not an amazing one, but yeah, I think there's a lot to be said for him. He's got a cross on him, getting forward. He's very decent with long range shooting, but especially through passing and pinpoint crossing. And then defensively, we've got interception, we've got aerial. Jumping's not too bad, not the tallest. Yeah, I'm not sure how great he's going to be in the air, but aerial does help, of course, in his sliding, tackling, and fighting experience. So yeah, maybe I'd like man marking blocker, maybe one or two attributes a bit on the lower side, but certainly a lot to be said for him. And on the whole, he's a decent left back. And before I forget, of course, he's got his face scan with that outstanding haircut. So yeah, it's a solid left back, this. And next up, we have Callum Hudson-Odoi in Player of the Week for the second time. So a while back, we had him in Player of the Week. He was a whole player that time. He's a whole player this time. And to be honest, that previous Player of the Week card, fairly similar, really. That previous one was a bit better at crossing, a bit more lofted pass on him. Both versions have pinpoint crossing. But this one's got a bit more attacking awareness, kicking, stamina. And also, this one has ball roll double touch. So that if you like your skill moves, that will give this one a big advantage over the previous one for you. Comparing to his GP card is a prolific winger. This is a whole player. They've moved into right midfield, but he's got the same positions that you can play in. It's just he's now got the whole player playing style, which will be active left mid and right mid. You won't have an active playing style if you're playing left wing or right wing as a forward. In terms of the attributes from his GP card, they boosted his passing, boosted his kicking power, his stamina's up a bit. Of course, they boosted his physicality and his defending. They always seem to do it on attacking players. I guess that superficially puts his rating up by at least one. Finishing's had a nice boost. He's got a very nice boost on his finishing. And we've gained a bit of speed but lost a bit of acceleration. I think we can live with that. They're both around the same level now. Probably better that they're balanced, if anything. But still a bit annoying me to lose a few points off acceleration. Skill-wise, though, they have made a few changes here. So we've lost scissors feint, chop turn, Rabona and gamesmanship. I think that's what we've lost. But we've gained double touch. Like I say, that means you've now got your combination for the ball roll double touch. We've got first time shot. We've got through passing. And we've got, of course, fighting spirit, because all attacking players in Player of the Week get fighting spirit these days. Not complaining, again, that's a good addition. So yeah, he's got a pretty good addition, selection of skills here. And I think, again, it's one of these players where they've got him down as a right mid. But with his lofted pass only 76, even with pinpoint crossing, his crossing's not going to be great. So I think even people who like whipping crossing with right wingers, he might not be too great on the right. I think on the left is where most people would probably use this guy, because with the pace, pretty good on the ball. He's got a decent finish in the attacking range, will hit 80 with the game plan boost, whole player playing style, get into good positions, or if you're playing as a left wing forward with that and like the playing style. Long range curler, first time shot, through passing sure is a nice bonus to have. That will help with his passing, albeit his passing is not great, but with long range curler being quick and good on the ball, coming off that left wing onto his right foot, I think it could be pretty handy as an inverted winger coming off the left wing. That might be the best way to use this guy. He's got unwavering form. He's got a face scan. Yeah, I was quite keen to get this guy last time he was in Player of the Week, to be honest. He looked neat. And this one, I didn't get that one, but this one, if I get this one, I'll be pretty pleased. He looks pretty neat. He doesn't look amazing. Tight possession a little bit low. I like a bit more kicking power on his shots. Balance is all right. Yeah, he's decent in a bunch of areas. Pretty good with the pace and pretty good on the ball. But yeah, like I say, you could use him on the right. I don't think his crossing is that great, but as a right footer, I think coming off the left flank, this is a pretty handy card. This I quite like the look of it. And if he suits you, if you're a dribbler, if you like your inverted wingers, certainly with long range curler to coming off the wing and try those curling shots, I think it could be a pretty handy card for a lot of people. Certainly a good option for the English League Challenge. So yeah, not an elite level card this one, but I think it could be pretty handy for a lot of people. And next we have Romelu, and he is a booster. So for the second time since he's been at Napoli, we have a deep lying forward player of the week card of Lukaku. Got his face scan, of course. Let's just activate that booster. What's that? Striker's instinct? Yes, striker's instinct. So awareness, ball control, finishing, acceleration. It's got unwavering form. I think this is just another one of his cards. It comes down to the playing style. I've had quite a lot of versions of Lukaku up to now. I think most often he's probably been a fox in the box most often. That's his regular playing style now on his GP card. His weaker foot accuracy is up by 1, by the way, just before I forget that, just noticed that. But yeah, the previous deep line forward player of the week card, not a massive difference really between this one and that one. This one's got a bit more on passing, and he's got aerial superiority as well. The boost on this one does give it the edge over that's the previous one, certainly. So if you got the previous one, this one is better. I wouldn't say it's massively better, but certainly it is better. And when he's got his boost active, you compare it to the previous versions, trainables and so on. He's a pretty good version, to be honest. Without the boost, it's pretty much par for the course for the Lukaku card on the whole. Obviously, the stats kind of shuffled around from one version to the next, but when he's got his full A form boost, this is one of the better versions of Lukaku. It just comes down to that playing style and the overall kind of profile and the balance of attributes and what really works for you. I do think he has a pretty interesting balance of attributes for a deep line forward, though. If you look at his GP card, what they're boosted him a bit on the ball. But one of the key changes they've made, they've added 18 points to his low pass. They've put a massive boost on his low pass, and he does have one-touch pass and now through passing. So that's really interesting on a deep line forward. Not only have they made him a bit better on the ball and better at passing, but he's obviously going to be a physical specimen, Lukaku, as well, which helps a lot when you're holding the ball up. He is going to be dropping deep, and if you go long to him as well, he's got aerial superiority. It looks like they've added that on this card. What else they added? So through passing and aerial superiority, long range shooting as well. So you've got long range curler, long range shooting, acrobatic finishing, first time shot, and obviously aerial superiority, and then one touch pass and through passing with his passing. Outside curler helps. He's not, well, he's got a strong wicker foot, but he doesn't use it too often. So yeah, outside curler is a nice one to have either way. Fighting spirit, of course, he's already got that though. But yeah, aerial superiority, a one touch pass and through passing. I think this guy's overall profile for deep line forward, yes, he's not brilliant on the ball, but he is better than he normally is. Certainly with an A form, you'll be able to get to the 80 mark for ball control with the maximum game plan boost. The awareness and finishing likewise will hit 90 with the game plan boost when he's an A form. Pace isn't too bad for a big physical guy. Like I say, he's very physically strong. He's not got an amazing jump on him, but with the amount of physical strength he's got and aerial superiority, he should win his fair share of headers. And yeah, he's got a pretty nice profile on the whole. So like I say, boosted a bit on the ball. His physicals have actually been boosted a bit as well, and that really big boost on his low pass. We've lost a few points of acceleration, but when he's on A form, he gets those points back, which is really generous. But yeah, on the whole, decent boost, and that passing especially, the way they boosted this guy, I think it suits the playing style really well. He's been doing well for Napoli this season. His hold-up play has been good. It's something he's always been criticised for, Lukaku, but his first touch and his passing especially this season, he's doing really well for them. I think this is a good card to us. I think it's an accurate card, and I think that if that deep line forward playing style does work for you, I think the attributes that he's got, the way they boosted him, the skills they've given him, I think it all goes together quite well. So yeah, obviously if that playing style doesn't work for you, I know it's not particularly popular playing style, then I think regardless it won't be a great card for you. But I think it's an interesting option if you do like that playing style. If deep line forward does work for you on a centre forward, I think with the physical strength he's got, the fact he's a bit better on the ball, he can certainly pass. He's got decent passing for a deep line forward, centre forward, and he's still got the awareness and the finishing. He's got good strength, not just physically but aerially, and a bit of pace about him as well. I think it's an interesting version of Lukaku, and of course long range shooting's been thrown into the mix. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of that playing style, but if I get him, I'll give him a go, to be honest. I think what they've done to him works quite well with that playing style. I think it suits him. So yeah, if it works for you, if that playing style works for you, then this could be a very interesting card to have. Obviously, if it doesn't, then you might not be so keen. And of course, he is going to be quite physical, quite sort of heavy and clunky. You always expect that with a player like Lukaku, but if he works for you, could really work for you. I think it's an interesting version of Lukaku. This, so not for everyone, but for those who do quite like the look of it, could be a very good card. Next up, we have Paul van Hecke, who has made a miraculous recovery from being shoved in the head by Anthony Gordon. I thought he was going to die, but he's back, he's alive, he's got a face scan. It's not the best face scan, is it? Build-up centre-back, nothing much has really changed with his profile, playing style, position. He's got unwavering form. And yeah, we've not had any previous feature versions of Van Hecke, so this is our first one, nothing to really compare it to. From his GP card, you know what to expect from a centre-back and player of the week. He's had boosts in the left and right columns, not a lot in the middle. They've actually nerfed him a bit defensively, which is very annoying. They put a massive boost on his lofted pass, actually. I didn't see the Bryant's match of the weekend. I'm guessing he must have played a through ball from inside his own half or something like that. But yeah, his lofted pass is looking great. But yeah, he's looking kind of pretty average on the whole for centre-back, to be honest. He's got great lofted pass, but that's about it. Defensives are all right. Like I say, they have been nerfed, which is very annoying. But he's been boosted down the right. Still not the quickest, though. And the jumping and physical contact, still not the best. I'd like both those to be a bit higher. Stamina's decent, very decent for a centre-back. But yeah, on the whole, nothing amazing there. Skill-wise, they have added a bunch. So his GP card's got heading, interception, acrobatic clearance and fighting spirit, but we've got a good selection now. They've thrown a whole bunch of skills in. Weighted pass, low lofted pass, so his long balls forward are going to be pretty decent. But yeah, man marking, search and blocker, acrobatic fighting spirit. I think the only defensive skill he's really lacking is sliding and tackle, to be honest. He's got a good searching skills on the whole, but yeah, like I say, looking at all the attributes, not particularly exciting to me. He's not the quickest, he's not the strongest, he's not going to be brilliant in the air, about 6'2", almost 6'3". Yes, he's got aerial, but 84 jumping. He's not going to have amazing jumping height on him. And like I say, the core defending attributes, not disastrously bad, but they're not brilliant either. So if you really need a centre-back option for the English League Challenge, it could do a job for you. Or if you're quite new to the game, you just need more centre-back options in general, you could certainly be a useful one for you. But I think most of us at this point have better centre-back options than this. It's a decent boost from his GP card, but they've nerfed some of the core defensive attributes. And for me, there are just too many attributes here that I would like to be a bit higher. So not a terrible card by any means, but it's just not a particularly great one either. And next we have Çalhanoğlu from Inter. So, orchestrator as he often is. Got a face scanner, of course. Unwavering form these days. That's one thing to know, because you've got a previous version of Çalhanoğlu. There have been quite a few that had inconsistent form, and it might be one or two standard as well. But he's been unwavering form for a while now, so that's good. And he's been injured for a while, but he's back to playing. Obviously, he's got form now, so I imagine if he stays fit, he'll be getting plenty of good form with this guy. But yeah, to be honest with this card, it's not that amazing a version of him. We've had a lot of versions of him at this point. Loads of Player of the Week cards, other Player of the Season one as well. This one doesn't look that great compared to other ones. It's good, obviously, it's a good card. You can see what he's good at, it's the technicals, but you've got to look at his positions and ask yourself, what position are you going to play him in, and how good is he going to be, and is he better than any other version you may already have? Because like I say, looking at other versions of him, there are a lot of versions of him that are pretty similar, but there are quite a few that are a bit better than this one. It doesn't look that great to me. As an orchestrator CMF, stamina's a little bit on the low side. I'd like a bit more balance on him. Defensives aren't brilliant, especially tackling at 73. Has he got any defensive skills? He's got blocker this time, that's nice. I think he's got that on his GP card these days. Or has he? No, that's new. Blocker's new. They've added blocker. They've added fighting spirit, of course, always. They've added, I think, first time shot. What are they taking away? Knuckle shot and dipping shot are gone. And captaincy. So, yeah, I think that's a pretty fair trade. Some good additions. Will be nice if we had interception. No, blocker is certainly a good one at centre mid, especially defensive mid. But interception would have been nice. He's got one touch and three. He's not always had one touch pass. That's something else to keep in mind. I think that's one they've added recently to his GP card. So some shooting skills there, which is good. He's got a good shot on him. Passing. Outside cut is nice. But like I say, block and fighting spirit are both good, but interception on any kind of centre mid or defensive mid is very important. So we're lacking that. We're not brilliant defensively. So for me personally, I wouldn't want him at defensive mid. As a centre mid orchestrator, obviously the orchestrator playing style is like a deep line playmaker. He won't be making too many attacking runs. Is the stamina enough? Does he still need a bit more defensively as a centre mid? I don't know. I think for a lot of people it'll be fine if you've got one or two midfielders behind him doing the defensive work. Then I think he can get away with it. But if he's your furthest forward midfielder with the orchestrator playing style, you might find there's a gap between your midfield and your attack. So that could be an issue. It just depends on how you set your midfield up. But like I say, just a question of which position he's going to be best in. I don't think he's got the pace to play left mid or right mid, certainly. He's not great at dribbling either. Attacking mid though, with a lot of Çalhanoğlu cards, attacking mid is where he's actually best, and that's probably the case with this one as well. Kicking power is great there. He's going to have a really interesting shot on him. Finishes going over 80 with the game plan boost. He's got the shooting skills. He's not a dribbler, but he's comfortable on the ball. He's got good passing. Attacking awareness is okay. If you're playing an attacking midfielder without an active playing style, that could be where he's best. Good at set pieces as well. He's certainly got lots of end product. Technically very nice. So as an attacking mid, could be pretty handy. But like I say, left mid, don't think he's quick enough. Certainly the end product's there, left mid and right mid. But with that lack of pace and dribbling, I don't think many people would want him out wide. And like I say, centre mid and defensive mid, there have been better versions of this guy. It's not a bad version by any means, but is he strong enough defensively to play DMF? I don't think so. Centre mid, a lot of people would probably say he can get away with him. Just depends on how you set your midfield up. But certainly this guy's strengths are not defensive. His strengths are getting on the ball. He can pass, he can cross, he can shoot. And if you can make the most of his strengths in some position in your midfield, it could be a good card for you. But like I say, it might be a good card, and certainly for the Italian League Challenge, a very handy one. But there have been better versions of Çalhanoğlu. So to me, it's not the most exciting one. But if you don't have a good version of him, and if you can find a way to use him, he's got some great strengths, and it could be a very good card for you. And next we have Christian Pulišić from AC Milan. So I'm not surprised he made it in. I'm not sure about that playing style though. Creative playmaker. So they've added left midfield to his positions. That's a new position. And he's normally a prolific winger. Now he's a creative playmaker. And a creative playmaker will be an active playing style in all three of the positions this guy's got. And like I said, I'm not sure about that as his playing style. Face scan is ancient. I said this recently. He had that face scan the first time I signed him in Master League when he was at Dortmund. That must be like 10 years ago now. Maybe not 10. He'd have been 16 then. But it's an old face scan. You get my point. Anyways, so this is a good version of Pulišić. New playing style, new position of left midfield. Interestingly, his weaker foot usage, I think that's gone up at some point on his GP card recently, because I was just comparing this to other versions of him, and on the Match Pass version that's currently available, it looks like his Match Pass card, his weaker foot usage is one lower than that. I might be wrong on that, or maybe eFootball Hub's wrong on that, but yeah, looks like that's recently been increased, his weaker foot usage, but he's fairly two-footed. What else have they changed? Not a great deal, really. It's really the end product. So on the ball, not a lot of difference. But like I say, the end product, the passing and the finishing is up from his GP card. We've lost a bit of acceleration, annoyingly. Got a bit more kicking power. Of course, we've had a boost to our physicals and our defending a little bit at least. And a bit more stamina as well. So yeah, it's a decent boost. It's really about the end product, this Pulišić card. So if you look at the other versions we've had of Pulišić, we've had a player of the season one, we've had a bunch of trainables. Generally, you tend to find they're a bit better on the ball and have a bit more pace, especially the acceleration. It does vary a bit, but those are the areas where this card is a little bit lacking compared to other versions. But we've got the end product, so it's really the end product versus that slight lack of on the ball strength. But it's a good version of Pulišić on the whole. On the whole, all things considered, it's one of the better versions that we've had. To be honest, if you're not too bothered about the end product, you're more bothered about the pace and the kind of dribbling and trickery, then you might as well just keep the Tsubasa one, the free Tsubasa one, because like I say, like a lot of other versions of Pulišić, it does have an advantage in those areas, but end product is important, and if it's important to you, then this is a good version of Pulišić. To compare to the Match Pass one, I know a lot of people will be wondering about that because he's currently available in the value Match Pass, which I think is 400 coins. Before we look at the attributes, different positions. So the Match Pass one, you've got attacking midfield and you've got wide forward on either side. This one, you've got wide forward either side, but you don't have attacking mid, you have left midfield instead. So positionally, you've got a slight change, and the playing style is very different. Whereas as the playmaker, the Match Pass one is a whole player, so you've got those differences. But in terms of the attributes, obviously the Match Pass one is trainable, but again, on auto allocation at least, you're going to find it's a question of end product or versus the dribbling and the pace. If you train him to be a wide forward, just click on eFootball Hub. He is better on the ball if you train him as a wide forward. The Match Pass one, a bit more acceleration, but I mean, there's not a lot of difference in their product either, to be honest. I think all things considered, I personally would prefer the Match Pass one because it's trainable. The fact you can play him as an attacking mid, I think, is nice. Obviously, I've done my review of the Match Pass players. That video's on the channel. I'll make that pop up at the end of this video if you want to click straight through to that. But yeah, on the whole, this is a slightly different version, but the Match Pass version of Pulišić, to me, if you can afford the coins and if you want a good version of him, I prefer the Match Pass one. You can position train him. Obviously, you can put skills on him. I think on the whole, he's just a little bit better, really. But this is one of the better versions we've had of Pulišić in terms of his overall ability, and he does have good end product compared to most other versions of him. And moving from his attributes to his skills, what have they changed in terms of his skills? So we've lost Scotch move and captaincy. Oh, Captain America's lost captaincy, that's a shame. We've gained first time shot and fighting spirit. So yeah, another attacking player getting fighting spirit. They love doing that lately. First time shot is a good one to add. You've got long range curler, so coming off that left flank onto your right foot. That's a really important skill to have, long range curler. Through passing as well helps, especially with his passing being boosted a bit. So yeah, it's looking like a good version of Pulišić, and of course we've already got Super Sub. So this could be a really handy super sub, this Pulišić card. For me, the one real downside to it is the playing style, but that's my personal preference. If you don't mind the creative playmaker out wide, great. This could be a really interesting card for you because he's quite quick. His balance is okay, but he's good on the ball. He's got a bit of end product, good attacking awareness. For me personally, a creative playmaker out wide, they're not that aggressive with their forward runs. They tend to hold back quite a bit, and they want you to kind of give them the ball so that they can play make. I want my wingers making runs into the box and into good attacking awareness areas. So it's a frustrating playing style for me on a winger. Usually I don't play creative playmakers out wide unless it's a player I really like my Di Maria card. But yeah, if that playing style does work for you on a wide man, could be a very nice card. I wouldn't put him on the right as a right footer because he can't cross it, but certainly on the left flank, cutting onto his right. His passing is not bad for a wide man, especially with that boost they get into his passing and the fact he's got through passing. But with first time shot on long range curler, especially cutting inside and getting shots away, could be very nice, and especially as a super sub. So slightly different profile to most versions that we've had of Pulišić. You might have a version where he's stronger in areas that you would prioritize, in which case you might prefer that one to this one. Playing style as well could be a factor. But if it all works for you, this could be a great card to pick up. For me personally though, if you've got the coins and you really want a good version of Pulišić, in my personal opinion, I think the match pass one is worth picking up. I'm going to be getting that one myself, but like I say, with this card, the boost they're giving it, extra end product compared to most versions of him. And if the playing style works for you, then for a lot of people, this card could be a really nice version of Pulišić to pick up. And next we have Viktor Gyökeres back in Player of the Week for the 3rd time. So, got a face scan, of course. Compared to the 2 previous Player of the Week cards, this is a bit better. There's nothing in particular that stands out as being massively better. It's just kind of slightly better across the board than both the previous Player of the Week cards, as far as I can see. If you look at the trainable versions, we've had a couple of trainable versions. He's around about the same level already. One difference I would say is the trainable versions seem to have a bit more awareness and finishing, whereas this one's a bit better on the ball. But you can train those trainable ones as well. So if you got one of the trainable ones, I would say stick with that one, to be honest. But this is a good version of Gyökeres. I would like the awareness and finishing to be a bit higher, but they're okay. He's pretty nice on the ball for a goal poacher. They boosted him on the ball. So from his GP card, they boosted him, boosted his on the ball attributes, his passing, his jumping as well. And taken 1 or 2 points away from his attacking awareness and his speed, which is very annoying. I don't know why they've done that. But yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, boosted on the ball and passing and jumping. So pretty nice version of Gyökeres on the whole. Skill-wise, what they've done, looks like they've taken away, I think chip shot control is gone, and acrobatic finishing. That's annoying. Why would they take that away? I mean, you could have taken away penalty specialist, maybe take away rising shot, but yeah, that's a bit of a miss, acrobatic finishing. But they've added long range curler, long range shooting, one touch pass, and outside curler. So we've got some good skills added there. Certainly long range curler, long range shooting. He's got all the shooting skills really, this guy, just except acrobatic finishing, and that's really frustrating. But we've got a pretty good selection skills still though, even if we've lost that one. It would be nice for red arrow superiority to go with the fact that boosted his jumping, but his jumping is still not that amazing. So he's not gonna be dominant in the air by any means, but he's physically strong. He should win a few headers. And yeah, on the whole, good kicking power. That helps with his shooting, definitely. Pace is all right. Like I say, on a goal poacher, I'd like a bit more pace, but he's physically strong, so slightly different profile to most goal poachers, perhaps. But he is good on the ball, though. He has had that boost. The awareness and finishing, not as high as I'd like, but they're okay. Passing's been boosted a bit. Yeah, it's kind of just a decent version of Gyökeres. Just looking at it in isolation, it's a solid centre forward. Not an amazing one, not a particularly exciting one. I would like more balance on a centre forward, I really would. So yeah, in a few ways, it's a little bit disappointing. I'd like a few attributes to be a bit higher. Skill-wise, we've had some good additions, but it's a shame we've lost acrobatic. I'd like aerial superiority, but I guess if he didn't do much heading of the ball in the game we played at the weekend, that's understandable. But yeah, plenty to be said for this card. It's a good version of Gyökeres. A few areas in which I'd like it to be a bit better. I don't think it's an amazing card on the whole, but it's a very decent one. I think quite a few people will be very happy with this card. He can do a very good job for as a striker. But again, like with a lot of these cards, Portuguese League, we don't get a Portuguese League challenge. So is he going to get into your main squad for divisions and so on? I'm not sure many people would say so. I think most people have been playing the game for a while now. I've probably got better options, but a lot of people like this guy, and it's certainly a decent version of him. So I can see a fair few people being happy with this card. And lastly, we have Booster Luis Díaz. So let's just go straight to the booster. He's got his usual playing style, usual positions, and fully boosted, he's pretty good. So again, similar to Pulišić, the general deal with this Díaz card, comparing it to other versions of him is that we've not got quite as much pace, we're not quite as good on the ball, but we've got a boost to the end product. So we've had a bunch of versions of Díaz, we've had a bunch of player of the week ones. They're all kind of shuffled around a bit in terms of stats. Some of them are a bit better here, a bit worse there. You tend to find that the previous versions are a bit better with their pace and on the ball, like I say. We've got some good end product here. There was a centre forward version. It's kind of hard to compare because that one as a centre forward was brilliant, but even as a left winger that was good. But yeah, this one's pretty good. He's around about the same level overall as the better versions of Díaz that we've had, both in terms of the trainables and the player of the week cards. What they've done from his GP card. We've gained points in a bunch of areas. So of course we've gained points in terms of physicality and defending. Why not? But we've also gained points in areas that do make a difference. I mean, the physicality makes a difference for sure, but we've gained some points with his balance, his low pass and finishing. We've had a nice boost. That's important. His attacking awareness as well. So yeah, some nice boosts there. Annoyingly, we've lost a few points of dribbling, but when he's on A form, you get those points back. Again, how generous. Annoying they've done that as well, but he's still good on the ball. Even when he's not on A form, he's good on the ball, but especially with A form, he's going to be great on the ball. Got a bit of pace as well, even if he tends to be quicker. We have lost a bit of pace from his GP card, but 90 for speed and acceleration before your game plan boost, you can't really complain with a bit that added end product that he's got. And skill-wise, they've taken away Marseille Turn. They really like taking Marseille Turn away from attacking players. Sombrero and I think Chop Turn are gone as well, but we've gained heel trick, one-touch pass, and of course, fighting spirit. So pretty good selection. It would be nice if we had long-range curler. That's the one I think most people would want to put on this guy first if you could, but you can't skill train these guys, unfortunately. So he's lacking long-range curler as a right-footed left winger, but we've got some decent skills there. He's going to feel nice on the ball. But yeah, one-touch pass is nice, but no through passing either. So we're a little bit lacking in end product, to be honest. Long-range curler, first-time shot, long-range shooting. There's a few that would be nice on there, but all that being said, it's still a good version of Díaz. I think for the most part, if you've got a good trainable version that goes to about the same level as this one, I would prefer that because then you can put some skills on him to beef his end product up. But yeah, if you don't have a good version, this is certainly a good one. He's going to feel good on the ball with the pace, good on the ball, even if he's been nerfed a bit and he's not as good as other versions are in those areas. But he's got that boost to his end product. Even without the skills, it's nice to have a few more points on his low pass and his finishing. They have had a nice boost from his GP card. They're higher than most versions of him tend to be, certainly the player ones I've been looking at. So yeah, he's a good version of Luis Díaz. I can't speak properly. But yeah, like I say, a bit of a question mark over whether he's got enough skills with the end product. I'd like the balance to be a little bit higher, but he's got loads of qualities. I think the dribblers will be quite pleased with this guy, certainly when he's on A form and he's got the A form boost. And with the boost to his end product, it certainly makes him comparable to the better versions we've had of Díaz previously. But like I say, there are one or two areas where certainly with the skills, maybe with the balance arguably, would like him to be a bit better in one or two ways. But a lot of people, I think, if you like this kind of a winger, inverted wingers, then even without long range curler and without a bit more end products skill wise, maybe I'm being a bit harsh. I don't know. He's certainly got some good skills in there. So yeah, maybe one or two ways I'd like to improve this guy. But he is a good card. If he's your kind of card, certainly when he's on A form, he could be a very good one to pick up. So that's your regular player of the week selection. I think it's all right. I think there's some decent ones in there. For me, I'd quite like Hudson-Odoi. I think it's pretty neat as a left winger. Lukaku and Pulišić, if you like the playing styles, could be good ones to pick up. Çalhanoğlu, not the best version of him, but it's another good one. If you can find a good way to fit him into your midfield, he's got plenty of end product. Díaz, obviously a very good left winger for a lot of people. Gyökeres, if you like him, solid centre forward, but yeah, not the most exciting pack. I don't think Van Hecke is a particularly great centre-back. Cucurella, solid left-back, but nothing too exciting. Mathew Ryan's a decent keeper, to be fair, but he's not the biggest. Slight question mark over whether he's got enough coverage of his goal. Arámbarri, nah, very midfielder. De Roon, solid, but nothing too exciting. So yeah, a few decent ones in there, but not the most exciting pack. But yeah, I'll be interested to know what you think of the pack. Let me know who you spun as well. Hopefully you found this video useful. As I mentioned at the start, I've done a review of the Champions League Player of the Week pack, so that's live on the channel already if you want to check it out. And of course, I'll be moving on to the two national packs that we've got the selection contracts for. I'll start on those today. Probably won't get either of them live today, but certainly over the next 1 or 2 days, I'll try my best to get both those pack reviews up. And of course, I won't forget the Enter pack. So yeah, cheers for watching this. Hopefully you found it useful. I'll be seeing you soon. Take it easy.